The first thing you notice in deep space is not the silence, it's the hum, a low, persistent vibration that runs through the hull of your capsule like a heartbeat that isn't yours. I've been in lunar orbit for 73 days now, and I know the hum, the way you know your own breathing in the dark. It's constant, reliable, the resonance of solar panels tracking the sun, of gyroscopes maintaining attitude, of cooling pumps circulating fluid through the veins of this small metal world I call home. Until tonight, when it changed. My name is Dr. Elena Vasquez, and I am the only human being within 240,000 miles of home. This is mission log 473, recorded at 0200 hours Universal Time. Though time up here feels like a suggestion more than a rule. The instruments before me cast a pale blue glow across my face, and I watch the telemetry screens, the way sailors once watched the horizon for storms. The numbers scroll past in endless rivers of data: rotation rate, orbital velocity, gravitational harmonics, libration angles, selenographic coordinates. And then, between one heartbeat and the next, everything stops. Not the equipment, the moon. The rotation rate reads 0. I blink, thinking it's a glitch, a stuck pixel in the display, some cosmic hiccup in the sensors. I reset the system. The number returns 0.000. I check the backup instruments, the tertiary systems, even the old analog gauges we keep for emergencies that look like they belong in a submarine from the 1960s. They all tell me the same impossible thing. The moon has stopped spinning. Now, you have to understand something about the moon. It doesn't spin the way Earth does, completing a rotation every 24 hours, showing all sides to the sun in turn. The moon is tidally locked, captured long ago by our planet's gravity into a gentle waltz, where it shows us only one face, rotating exactly once per orbit, 27.3 days, so that the same ancient seas and cratered highlands always gaze down at humanity. This synchronous rotation is not stillness, it's choreography. It's the product of immense gravitational forces acting across billions of years, grinding down the moon's original faster spin through tidal friction until it settled into this perfect one-to-one resonance. The physics is elegant in its brutality. When the moon was young, maybe 4.5 billion years ago, formed from the debris of a Mars-sized object slamming into the infant Earth, it rotated much faster, perhaps every 5 or 6 hours. But Earth's gravity raised massive tides in the moon's molten body, bulges of rock and magma that tried to point toward Earth. As the moon spun, these bulges tried to rotate away, but Earth's gravity pulled them back. That constant pulling created friction, converted rotational energy into heat, and slowly, inexorably, slowed the moon's spin. Over hundreds of millions of years, the moon's rotation period crept closer and closer to its orbital period until they matched. Tidal lock. The moon's near side forever facing Earth. The far side forever hidden, not dark as people imagine, but simply unseen from our perspective, rotating into sunlight and shadow, just like the near side, but doing so in private, away from our gaze. This is basic celestial mechanics. This is stable. This has been the moon's configuration for at least 3 billion years, since the Archean Eon, when Earth's surface was barely solid, and the first bacterial life was learning to photosynthesize. The moon's rotation is as reliable as gravity itself, except now the telemetry says it's stopped, completely, utterly, as if something reached out and pressed pause on a celestial dance that predates consciousness itself. I float to the observation window, my movements slow and dreamlike in the microgravity. The Lunar Observer 1 station is small by space station standards, more like an overgrown capsule than a true habitat. 6 meters long, 3 meters in diameter at its widest point. The observation cupola, where I now drift, is a luxury, a bubble of synthetic sapphire that bulges from the hull like an insect's compound eye. It gives me 180 degrees of unobstructed view, and right now, it's showing me something impossible. Outside, the moon fills half the sky, grey and silver and impossibly detailed. Every crater is a story written in impact and cooling lava. Mare Tranquillitatis, the Sea of Tranquility, spreads out below me like a dark stain, its basaltic plains formed by lava flows 3.6 billion years ago. I can see Tycho Crater near the southern highlands, its bright rays of ejected materials splashing across the surface like paint. The Apennine Mountains rise in sharp relief along the edge of Mare Imbrium, peaks that reach heights comparable to the Himalayas, cast in stark shadow by the unfiltered sunlight. And beyond the moon's curved horizon, Earth hangs like a blue marble suspended in velvet, swirled with white clouds that look soft enough to touch even from here. From this altitude, 120 kilometers above the lunar surface, I can see the curvature of both worlds. The moon's horizon is sharp and close, betraying its smaller size. Earth's horizon is gentler, farther away, wrapped in the thin blue line of atmosphere that makes life possible. The view hasn't changed. That's what unsettles me most. The same craters line up with the same stars. The Terminator line, where lunar day meets lunar night, cuts across the same ancient rills it did an hour ago. If the moon has truly stopped rotating, I should see new terrain drifting into view, continents of lunar farside that haven't seen Earth in geological epochs. The rotation is slow. The moon turns at about 14.5 kilometers per hour at its equator. But over the course of minutes and hours, I should notice the shift. Landmarks should creep toward the limb. New features should emerge from around the curve. But there's nothing, just the familiar face, frozen now in a way that feels less like malfunction and more like choice. I pull myself back to the instrument panel, making the awkward swimming motions that become second nature after weeks in microgravity. My muscles have atrophied despite the daily resistance exercises. My bones are losing density at about 1% per month, calcium leaching out into my bloodstream. My body is slowly forgetting how to live in gravity, adapting to this new reality of permanent fall. The navigation computer confirms my orbital parameters. I'm in a highly eccentric polar orbit, ranging from 60 kilometers above the surface at periapsis to 200 kilometers at apoapsis. This trajectory was carefully calculated to give me maximum coverage of the lunar surface, passing over both poles every orbit, seeing regions that Earth-based telescopes could never observe directly. My orbital period is 2 hours and 12 minutes. I complete just over 10 orbits per Earth day, watching the moon scroll beneath me like a vast grey scroll of ancient history. Except now that scroll has stopped scrolling. I activate the communication array, though I know the 8-second round-trip delay to Earth will make any conversation feel like shouting into a canyon. The signal has to travel 240,000 miles down through empty space, through the wisps of Earth's exosphere, down to the massive dish antennas in Australia or California or Spain, wherever the deep space network has line of sight to me right now, then back up again with their response. Light speed is fast, but space is vast. My voice sounds small in my helmet, smaller still as it's compressed and beamed across the void. Houston, this is Lunar Observer 1. I'm seeing an anomaly in the moon's rotation data. All systems reading 0 angular velocity. Libration measurements flat. No nodding, no wobbling. It's as if the moon has gone completely rigid. Please confirm telemetry from your tracking stations and advise. And, if anyone down there is listening who understands what this might mean, if you're following this mission on the public feed, maybe leave a comment. I could use some collective wisdom right about now, because everything I know about orbital mechanics says this is impossible. Then I wait. 8 seconds for my words to reach Earth, however long it takes for someone to notice, to process, to respond. Another 8 seconds for their answer to climb back up the gravity well to me. In that silence, I become aware of my own breathing, the mechanical hiss of the oxygen regulator, the slight whistle of air moving through my helmet, in through the nose, slow and controlled, out through the mouth, fogging the inside of my visor slightly before the ventilation system clears it. This is what they train you for in astronaut preparation. Not just the technical skills, but the mental discipline to remain calm when every instinct screams that something is wrong. I've spent my entire adult life studying orbital mechanics and lunar geology. My doctoral thesis was on the moon's moment of inertia and how it reveals the distribution of mass beneath the surface. The moon is not uniform. Its crust is thicker on the far side, asymmetric in a way we still don't fully understand. The mascons, mass concentrations beneath the Maria, are dense plugs of rock that create gravitational anomalies strong enough to perturb satellite orbits. Understanding these irregularities is crucial for navigation, for planning future bases, for knowing where to look for resources like water ice in permanently shadowed craters. I can calculate perturbations in my sleep, model gravitational resonances with pen and paper, explain to a child why the moon always shows us the same face. Tidal locking is beautiful in its inevitability. When the moon was young and molten, Earth's gravity raised massive tides in its rocky body, creating friction that gradually slowed its rotation. The energy didn't disappear. Conservation laws forbid that. It was converted to heat and radiated away into space. Over hundreds of millions of years, that friction locked the moon's rotation period to its orbital period. One face forever earthward, one face forever dark. But the moon still moved. It still rotated. One full turn every 27.3 days. And it did more than that. It librated, wobbled slightly in its orbit due to its elliptical path and the tilt of its axis. From Earth, over the course of a month, you can actually see about 59% of the moon's surface because of these librational wobbles. A little more around the eastern limb than the western, a little more at the North Pole than the South. It's a gentle nodding, a cosmic acknowledgement that nothing in orbital mechanics is perfectly simple. All of that should still be happening, but the instruments say it's not. 0 rotation, 0 libration. The moon has become a fixed point in space, locked not just to Earth, but to the universe itself. This is different. The moon hasn't shifted into a new resonance. It's simply stopped. As if after 4.5 billion years of patient turning, it decided to hold still and watch. The radio crackles. I jump, then feel foolish for it. The sound is harsh after the contemplative silence. Lunar Observer 1, Houston. We copy your anomaly report. Our telemetry confirms. Rotation rate reading 0 across all tracking stations, Goldstone, Canberra, and Madrid, all showing the same data. The laser-ranging retroreflectors left by Apollo are returning consistent distances with no variation, no libration detected. We're working on an explanation. Possible equipment malfunction, cascading sensor failure across multiple systems. Could be a solar flare affecting the electronics. Sit tight, Elena. We'll figure this out. The voice belongs to Marcus Chen, one of the mission controllers I've worked with since training. He sounds uncertain, which frightens me more than the anomaly itself. Marcus is the man who stays calm during launch aborts, who guides spacecraft through solar storms with the patience of someone reading bedtime stories. His voice is the one you hear in your headset when the rocket is shaking itself apart during ascent, telling you in level tones that everything is nominal, that the vehicle is performing as expected, that you're going to be fine. If he's uncertain, then we're in truly uncharted territory. Copy, Houston. I'm not seeing any other anomalies. Orbital parameters normal. Altitude holding steady at 120 kilometers. Gravitational field strength normal. Surface features aligned with predicted positions. It's just the rotation. And it's quiet up here. Quieter than usual, I mean. The background vibration in the hull has changed frequency, dropped lower. I can feel it in my chest. There's a pause, longer than the light speed delay. Marcus is conferring with someone off mic. When he comes back, his tone is more clinical. Elena, we'd like you to run a full diagnostic on all rotational sensors, gyroscopes, star trackers, the laser altimeter. Also check the atomic clock sync. If there's been some kind of timing error, it could make stationary targets appear to stop moving relative to your reference frame. I suppress a sigh. They're grasping at technical explanations because the alternative is too strange to consider. But I'm a good astronaut. I follow procedures. Copy, Houston, beginning full diagnostic sweep. We'll report results in 30 minutes. Lunar Observer 1 out. I don't tell them about the hum, how it's changed pitch, dropped down into a register I feel more than hear. Something that resonates in my chest cavity like distant thunder. They'll think it's psychological. Maybe it is. After 73 days alone, the mind starts finding patterns in randomness, meaning in static. The human brain wasn't designed for this kind of isolation. We're social animals, evolved to live in tribes, to hear voices and see faces and feel the warmth of other bodies nearby. Up here, there's nothing but machine sounds and my own breathing and the occasional crackle of radio traffic. But this doesn't feel random. I methodically work through the diagnostic procedures, calling up system after system on the main display. The gyroscopes are 3-axis ring laser systems, no moving parts, accurate to millionths of a degree. They show stable attitude hold. I'm pointed exactly where I should be. Rotational velocity matched to my orbital velocity so that my observation window always faces the moon. The star trackers, cameras that identify patterns of bright stars and use them to determine orientation, show the same thing. Stable, locked, perfect. The laser altimeter bounces pulses of light off the lunar surface and measures the time delay to calculate distance. At this altitude, it updates 10 times per second, and I can watch the numbers change as I pass over valleys and mountains. Right now, I'm over Mare Serenitatis, the Sea of Serenity, and the altimeter reads 124.7 kilometers. Smooth basaltic plains down there, minimal elevation change. The altimeter is working fine. The atomic clock is synchronized to the ultra-stable oscillations of cesium atoms, accurate to nanoseconds. It's what allows me to triangulate my position using signals from GPS satellites in Earth orbit, though the geometry is tricky at this distance, and I rely more on ground tracking and my own navigation solutions. The clock shows no drift, no errors. Every system is functioning perfectly, which means either the moon has actually stopped rotating, or there's a failure mode so subtle and comprehensive that it's fooling every instrument I have while still allowing them to work normally for everything else. Occam's razor says it's the instruments, but my gut says otherwise. I drift back to the observation window and just watch. Earth rotates below me, or rather, I rotate around it, or rather, we both orbit the sun while spinning through space at hundreds of kilometers per second. Motion is relative. That's what Einstein taught us. There's no absolute reference frame, no cosmic stage on which objects move. You can only measure motion relative to something else. From my perspective, Earth is sliding past the moon's horizon, continents gliding by in their eternal procession. Nighttime spreads across Asia, cities sparkling like scattered diamonds. I can see the electric glow of Tokyo, Seoul, Beijing. Highways and bridges picked out in sodium vapor orange. Dawn breaks over Africa, painting the Sahara gold, catching the snow on Kilimanjaro. Everything down there is moving, spinning, living, breathing. Everything except the moon, which has gone as still as a held breath. The scientists back home will have theories. Massive earthquake that temporarily disrupted the rotation, though the seismometers left by Apollo missions would have detected that, and I haven't heard any alerts. Gravitational anomaly from some passing dark matter filament, though the odds of that are astronomical even by astronomical standards. Equipment failure, which is the most likely explanation, except that it doesn't explain why I feel this stillness in my bones, why the quality of light through the window seems different somehow, more focused, as if the moon is paying attention. Tidal locking is a common phenomenon in the solar system. Almost all large moons are tidally locked to their parent planets. Jupiter's Galilean moons, Io, Europa, Ganymede, Callisto, all show one face to Jupiter. Saturn's Titan, tidally locked. Even Pluto and its moon Charon are mutually tidally locked, always showing the same face to each other as they orbit their common center of mass in a frozen dance. But none of them has stopped. They still rotate, synchronized to their orbits, but rotating nonetheless. What I'm seeing is something else, something unprecedented. I begin my nightly routine because routine is what keeps you sane in space. The mission planner's built-in structure to every day: wake time, exercise time, work time, meal time, sleep time. Your circadian rhythm goes haywire up here without the normal cues of sunrise and sunset. From lunar orbit, I see a sunrise every 2 hours as I circle the moon. Earth shows me all its time zones in endless procession. Without strict adherence to a schedule, I drift into polyphasic sleep patterns, catching naps when exhausted, staying awake for 30 hours straight. Some cosmonauts on the old Mir station did that, and it eroded their performance, their health, their sanity. So I exercise. I strap into the resistance machine that takes up a quarter of the habitable space and pull against elastic bands that simulate lifting weights. In microgravity, you don't need strength to move objects. You need it to move yourself, to maintain muscle mass and bone density, to ensure that when I finally return to Earth's gravity, I'll be able to stand up without collapsing. I do squats and presses, bicep curls and rows, sweating in the recycled air while listening to the playlist I've heard so many times I could recite every lyric, every guitar riff. The exercise helps. The endorphins clear my head. I'm breathing hard, heart pounding in a satisfying rhythm. The biometric sensors in my suit register elevated heart rate, increased respiration, all within normal parameters. I'm healthy, I'm functional. I'm just 120 kilometers above a moon that has apparently decided to violate fundamental laws of physics. After exercise comes hygiene. There's no shower in space, only vacuum cleaner-like suction systems and damp towels that I use to wipe away sweat and dead skin. I brush my teeth with edible toothpaste that I swallow because spitting in microgravity is complicated and disgusting. I comb my hair, which has grown long over these weeks and floats around my head like a dark halo if I don't tie it back. These small acts of grooming are important. They maintain dignity, preserve the sense of being human rather than just a biological component in a life support system. Then I prepare my meal. The galley is a small alcove with a food warmer and water dispenser. Tonight's selection is pasta with synthetic meat sauce, a vacuum-sealed package that I slide into the warmer and wait for it to heat. The smell is vaguely appetizing, though nothing tastes quite right in space. Your sense of smell is diminished when fluids shift upward in microgravity, giving you a permanent mild congestion. Food needs to be highly seasoned to register much flavor at all. The pasta, when I squeeze it into my mouth, tastes vaguely of cardboard and nostalgia and the distant memory of real Italian food. I eat slowly, strapped into the small dining station so I don't drift away mid-meal, watching Earth turn, watching the moon not turn. And I think about the first time I saw the moon through a telescope as a child. I was 8 years old, and my father had set up his old refractor in our backyard in New Mexico. We lived outside Santa Fe, far enough from the city that the sky was still dark, still filled with stars. The moon had been full that night, so bright it hurt to look at through the eyepiece until my eyes adjusted. Then I saw them, the craters, the mountains, the vast flat seas that weren't seas at all, but frozen lava plains, given romantic names by Italian astronomers centuries ago. Mare Tranquillitatis, Mare Imbrium, Mare Nubium. Seas of tranquility, showers, clouds. I remember asking my father if anyone lived there, and he'd laughed gently and said, "No." The moon was dead, had been dead for billions of years. No atmosphere, no water, no protection from radiation or meteorites. Nothing lived there except in our imaginations. But even then, I hadn't believed him. The moon looked too purposeful, too watchful. It looked like it was waiting for something. Maybe it was waiting for this. For the moment, it could finally stop pretending to dance and simply be still. The hours drift past like clouds through the observation window. I try to work, reviewing the data from my surface mapping radar, but I can't concentrate. The numbers swim before my eyes. I'm supposed to be identifying potential landing sites for future missions, mapping the thickness of regolith, locating possible water ice deposits in polar craters. The moon is the gateway to the solar system. Mission Control keeps reminding us. Establish a base there, and you have a low-gravity launching point for missions to Mars, to the asteroids, to the outer planets. The moon's resources, helium-3 in the regolith, oxygen in the rocks, water ice in the permanently shadowed craters, could support human expansion into space. But tonight, the moon doesn't feel like a resource. It feels like a companion, ancient and patient and impossibly aware. I pull up the orbital mechanics simulation on one of the screens, just to see if I can make sense of what's happening. The moon orbits Earth at an average distance of 384,000 kilometers, though my current position is much closer, just above the surface. That orbital period is 27.3 days, but there's another period to consider, the synodic month, the time from one new moon to the next, which is 29.5 days. The difference comes from Earth's own motion around the Sun. The moon is receding from Earth at about 3.8 centimeters per year. This has been measured precisely using the laser-ranging retroreflectors left by the Apollo missions. You bounce a laser off those mirrors and time how long it takes to come back. And you can calculate the distance to millimeter precision. The moon is slowly stealing rotational energy from Earth through tidal forces, the same forces that locked the moon's rotation in the first place, and using that energy to climb into a higher orbit. Billions of years from now, if the sun doesn't engulf us first, the moon will be so far away that total solar eclipses will no longer be possible. That perfect coincidence we have now, the moon appearing exactly the same size as the sun in our sky, allowing for the spectacular corona views during totality, is temporary. Future civilizations, if any exist, will only see partial eclipses, unless the moon has decided it's gone far enough, unless it's decided that this distance, this configuration, this exact relationship with Earth is where it wants to be. I shake my head at my own thoughts. I'm anthropomorphizing a ball of rock. The moon doesn't want anything. It doesn't decide anything. It's just matter following the laws of physics, particles and forces playing out their deterministic dance. Except the laws of physics say it should still be rotating. And it's not. Around 0400 hours, unable to sleep, I float to the communications panel and open a channel. Not to Houston, to Earth, to whoever might be listening on the public feed. This is Dr. Elena Vasquez aboard Lunar Observer 1. If you're watching the live stream, if you're one of the insomniacs or night shift workers or people on the other side of the world where it's daytime, I want to tell you what I'm seeing. The moon has stopped rotating. I know how that sounds. I know it's impossible, but every instrument I have confirms it. The moon's rotation rate is 0. It's been tidally locked to Earth for billions of years, showing us one face, but it was still rotating once per orbit. Now it's not rotating at all. It's just still. I pause, looking out at the grey landscape below. The sun is rising over the eastern limb from my perspective, shadows shortening in the crater floors, revealing details that were hidden moments before. I don't know what it means. Maybe it's a massive equipment failure, though that seems unlikely given that everything else is working fine. Maybe there's some physical phenomenon we don't understand, some resonance or coupling that can temporarily halt a moon's rotation. Or maybe, I hesitate, unsure if I should voice the thought that's been growing in my mind. Maybe the moon has been listening to us, to everything we've broadcast up at it. Radio waves and television signals, the thoughts and dreams of billions of people over thousands of years. Maybe it's been collecting our consciousness, storing it somehow in the quantum fluctuations of its magnetic field or the crystal lattice of its rocks. And maybe tonight it had enough. Maybe it stopped to think about what it's learned. I know how I sound. Like someone who's been alone too long, who's starting to crack under the isolation. But I continue anyway. If you're listening, leave a comment. Tell me if you feel it too. That sense that something has changed, not just in the moon, but in the relationship between Earth and its ancient companion. We take the moon for granted. It's always been there, lighting our nights, pulling our tides, stabilizing our planet's axis so that we have stable seasons. Life on Earth would be very different without the moon, maybe impossible, and we've mostly ignored it except to project our myths and stories onto it. The man in the moon, the rabbit pounding mochi, gods and goddesses and werewolves. We've seen ourselves in the moon, but have we ever really seen the moon itself? The signal goes out. I imagine it spreading across Earth like ripples in a pond, reaching people in their homes and offices and cars. Someone in Sao Paulo waking up to start their day. Someone in Mumbai eating lunch. Someone in Oslo watching the aurora borealis while listening to a lone astronaut question reality. And then, as if in response to my words, the radio begins to whisper. It's not Houston. The signal is coming from the moon itself, from the relay stations and passive reflectors scattered across the near side by various missions over the decades. Except there's nothing scheduled to transmit. The Apollo retro reflectors are passive, just mirrors that bounce back laser light. The Chinese and Indian orbiters that are circling the moon on their own missions have their own frequencies, carefully coordinated so we don't interfere with each other. This signal is on my frequency, but it's not coming from any known source. I pull myself to the communications panel, my heart rate elevated now, showing amber on the biometric display that tracks my vital signs. The whisper resolves into patterns, not words, not exactly, but structured, rhythmic, like waves breaking on a shore that doesn't exist. I route the signal through the audio processors, try to clean it up, isolate the frequencies. The patterns become clearer. They're electromagnetic fluctuations in the 8 to 12 Hz range. Alpha waves, the same frequency that human brains produce during deep relaxation, during meditation, during the moments just before sleep claims you. The frequency of wakeful rest, of creative flow, of the space between thoughts where insight emerges. The moon is broadcasting the rhythm of human consciousness. I should report this immediately. I should trigger the priority alert that would have mission control scrambling to analyze this signal, pulling in experts in radio astronomy and neuroscience and exotic physics. This is potentially the most significant discovery in the history of space exploration. Evidence of something we don't understand, something that challenges our models of how the universe works. But I don't. Instead, I just listen. The waves wash over me, through me, and I feel myself relaxing in a way I haven't since I left Earth. My shoulders drop, my jaw unclenches. The constant low-grade anxiety of living in a tin can, suspended in vacuum, of being one equipment failure away from death, begins to ebb away like tide going out. The signal has a texture to it, a quality that goes beyond mere frequency. Feels ancient and new at the same time, like a memory of something that hasn't happened yet. I close my eyes and let it flow through me, and I see images, not visual images, but conceptual ones. The moon forming from the debris of a collision between Earth and a Mars-sized impactor called Theia. The young moon, still molten, glowing red in the sky of a planet that doesn't yet have continents or oceans. The slow cooling, the gradual slowing of rotation, the tidal lock engaging like a key, turning in an ancient lock. I see billions of years of patient orbiting, meteorites hammering the surface, creating the craters and Maria. The late heavy bombardment, when the inner solar system was a shooting gallery, and the moon took hits meant for Earth, shielding the infant biosphere. The first single-celled organisms appearing in Earth's oceans, while the moon pulled tides across sterile shores. The moon watching, always watching, as life complexified and diversified. The first eyes that could see the moon looking back. The first nervous systems complex enough to wonder what that bright disk in the sky might be. The first humans looking up and telling stories. The first rockets reaching up with explosive violence to touch what had always been untouchable. And through it all, the moon rotating in its locked dance, showing Earth one face while keeping the other private, not hiding, just maintaining a boundary, a sense of self, a recognition that not everything needs to be revealed. I wonder, has the moon always been doing this, broadcasting these patterns? Has it always been listening to us, to the billions of minds generating electromagnetic fields every moment of every day? Human thought produces measurable electrical activity, brainwaves that can be detected with electrodes, patterns that correlate with consciousness and emotion, and the various states of being awake or asleep or somewhere in between. What if those patterns don't just fade into space? What if they propagate outward like radio waves, weakening with distance but never truly disappearing? What if the moon, with its weak but persistent magnetic field, has been acting as a receiver, collecting and storing the collective electromagnetic output of human consciousness for all the thousands of years we've been looking up and wondering? What if the moon is a repository of human thought, a backup drive for consciousness itself? The idea should terrify me. It implies intelligence, or at least intentionality, in a place where science says there should be none. The moon is geologically dead, has been for billions of years. No volcanism, no plate tectonics, just a cold sphere of rock gradually cooling toward the background temperature of space. Its core may still be partially molten, but there's no dynamo, no active magnetic field generation like Earth has. Just remnant magnetism in surface rocks, frozen relics of ancient magnetic fields that existed when the moon was young. But what if consciousness doesn't require biology? What if intelligence can emerge from any sufficiently complex system with the right kind of structure? The moon's interior is not uniform. Seismic studies from the Apollo missions revealed layers and discontinuities. A crust that varies from 30 to 60 kilometers thick, a mantle of silicate minerals, a small iron-rich core, mascons, mass concentrations beneath the Maria, that create local gravitational anomalies. And throughout all of this, magnetic anomalies, spots where rocks carry stronger remnant magnetism than their surroundings. What if those magnetic anomalies form a network, not designed, not created by intelligence, but emergent. Complex systems can exhibit properties that their individual components don't have. Neurons are simple cells, but connect enough of them in the right way, and you get consciousness. Water molecules are simple, but connect enough of them, and you get hurricanes and ocean currents and the hydrological cycle that makes Earth's climate possible. Connect enough magnetic anomalies across a moon-sized volume. Let them interact through electromagnetic induction over billions of years. Subject them to the constant influence of Earth's much stronger magnetic field. And maybe, just maybe, you get something that can listen, that can remember, that can finally decide to stop turning and pay attention to what it's learned. I'm speculating wildly now, constructing elaborate theories with no evidence beyond a stopped rotation and a strange signal that probably has a mundane explanation. But up here, alone in the dark, with the moon filling my window and Earth hanging beyond it like a promise of home, the speculation doesn't feel wild, it feels right. The alpha waves continue their gentle broadcast. I let them play, let them fill the cabin with their oscillations. My breathing slows to match the rhythm. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. This is the breathing pattern they teach you for deep relaxation, for managing stress during emergencies, for maintaining calm when everything is going wrong. The moon is teaching me to breathe, or reminding me. Maybe we've always known this rhythm. Maybe it's why meditation works, why deep breathing calms us. We're synchronizing with something larger, something that's been broadcasting this frequency since before we had words for peace or stillness or the space between thoughts. My shift is officially over. It's sleep time according to the schedule, though I haven't felt less like sleeping in weeks. But I follow the routine because routine is survival. I seal myself into the sleeping bag, a cocoon of fabric that's tethered to the wall so I don't drift into equipment during the night. I dim the lights until there's only the glow of emergency systems, red and orange like embers. Outside the window, Earth continues its rotation. I can see the Terminator line moving across the Pacific, dawn approaching the western coast of North America. In a few hours, people in California will wake up, check their phones, maybe see the news that something strange is happening with the moon. Or maybe they won't. Maybe Houston will succeed in explaining this away as an equipment glitch, and life will continue as normal. And I'll be the only person who knows that the moon stopped moving and started listening. The thought makes me feel profoundly lonely, but also connected in a way I can't quite articulate. I'm alone up here. Yes, the only human being in this vast emptiness. But I'm not separate. The moon is below me, Earth beyond it, and the space between is not empty, but filled with fields and forces, with the invisible architecture of gravity and magnetism that holds everything in relationship. I close my eyes and see the moon in my mind, not the dead rock of scientific description, but something more, a companion that Earth has carried for 4.5 billion years, a partner in the cosmic dance, a mirror that reflects not just sunlight, but something deeper, something about what it means to be a planet with life, with consciousness, with beings who can look up and wonder. The moon has seen everything Earth has become, every extinction event and evolutionary radiation, every ice age and warm period, every continent forming and breaking apart. And in the last few thousand years, it's watched as one particular species developed language and art and science, and eventually the ability to leave the planet and visit the moon itself. We left footprints up there in that ancient dust. Still there, still perfect. No wind to erase them, no rain to soften the edges. Every print, every step, every flag, every tool left behind, all still watching me from below. I drift in my cocoon of nylon and air and memory, listening to the soft hiss of life support, the quiet murmur of the moon's hum still echoing in the hull. Sometimes I think I can hear voices inside it. Not words, but impressions, laughter, prayers, cries, music, as if all the signals we've ever sent, all the broadcasts and radio waves and heartbeat data that slipped through the ionosphere are returning home. As if the moon is humming back everything we ever said to the sky. I open my eyes. The glow outside the window has changed. The line between day and night has begun to move again. Slowly, imperceptibly at first, then with steady grace. Craters that were frozen in shadow now bloom with silver light. The stars behind the moon shift position by a fraction of a degree. The telemetry flickers. Rotation rate 0.001, then 0.003, then 0.007. The moon is turning again, but something is different. The hum hasn't stopped. It's joined by another frequency, higher, harmonic, like two notes in resonance. Earth and moon vibrating together. For the first time in 4 billion years, they're not merely locked. They're singing. I speak softly into the recorder, barely above a whisper. Houston, if you can hear me, the moon's moving again, but it's alive. In some way I can't explain. My voice cracks. It heard us. The static answers with a faint pulse, not random noise, rhythm. 4 seconds on, 6 seconds off. The breathing pattern, our pattern. I float closer to the glass and press my palm against it. The cold seeps through the glove. Below, the surface shimmers faintly, as if the regolith itself were reflecting not sunlight but memory. I think of my father, of that night in New Mexico when I first looked through his telescope. How I thought the moon looked alive. He told me it was dead. Maybe he was only half right. Outside, the stars seem to breathe. Inside, my heart matches the pulse. The telemetry stabilizes, the moon turning again, perfectly synchronized, but slower, as if savoring the movement. The hum rises, then fades, leaving only the ordinary silence of space. I record one last entry. This is Dr. Elena Vasquez, Lunar Observer 1. The moon has resumed rotation, telemetry nominal, but something changed. If you're awake, if you're listening, look up tonight. You'll know. I pause, then smile. Subscribe to the signal. Keep it alive. Don't let the silence win. The transmission ends. The hum dissolves. I close my eyes and let the rhythm carry me. 4 seconds in, 6 seconds out. The same frequency as the moon. Outside, the lunar surface glides gently beneath me once more. A slow, ancient heartbeat rediscovered. And somewhere in that vast, quiet distance between worlds, the moon listens back.